What does an ordinary life in a small city in Vietnam really look like? Not the places tourists come to visit. Not the stories that usually appear online. Just the quiet rhythm of everyday life. Hi, I'm Kim. I live in Ha Giang, a small city in northern Vietnam. I'm 30 years old, a single mother, and like many others, I'm simply trying to build a peaceful life. My life isn't exciting. Most days look almost the same. But maybe that's exactly why I wanted to share it. Every morning, my day begins at 7 a.m. After I wake up, I take care of a few daily chores around the house. I don't think people realize how much of being a single mom happens in the background. When I was little, I never noticed everything my mom did before the day had even started. I just thought that was how a home was supposed to feel. But now I find myself doing those same little things every morning. The little responsibilities that repeat every single day. None of them seem important on their own, but together they keep life moving. I still get tired sometimes, but when the house feels calm and my daughter can just be a kid, I feel like I've done enough. Every morning, I start my day with a glass of warm water. I picked up that habit from my mom. It's funny how some habits become part of your life without you even realizing it. One thing that has never changed is how much I love plants. There are plants almost everywhere around my house. Growing plants makes everything feel a little softer, a little more alive. In Vietnam, a lot of people grow plants in front of their homes. It doesn't matter if the house is big or small. Somehow, there's almost always a few pots by the door. Some people decorate their homes with expensive furniture. I decorate mine with leaves. It's not easy to grow plants in Ha Giang. The weather here changes a lot. Winter can get really cold, sometimes below 3 degrees Celsius. Then summer comes, and it can be almost 40 degrees. Some plants just can't handle both, so after a while you start learning which ones actually belong here. Sometimes I just stand there for a minute, looking at them, thinking about random things. Right below my house, there's a small street market. It's open every morning. It's usually busiest early in the day. Most of the vendors sell fresh food, vegetables, and meat. Having a market full of fresh food right outside my house is really convenient. I feel lucky. Sometimes it gets really noisy and causes traffic jams. But somehow, it's always been part of this neighborhood. From the third floor, I can see almost the entire neighborhood. The mountains are never too far away. On clear mornings like this, there's a small vegetable garden where one of my neighbors grows a few different kinds of vegetables. Sunny days like this are perfect for hanging clothes outside. I prefer hanging my clothes to dry instead of using a dryer because air drying helps them last longer. I still use the dryer sometimes though, especially on rainy, humid days. During late winter and early spring, Ha Giang often gets light drizzle and the humidity is very high. Sometimes I can leave my clothes outside for 3 days and they still won't dry. I'll spend about 2 hours working. I used to make a living from YouTube. Back in 2017, I even left university to do it full-time. After YouTube, I opened a flower shop. Then I closed it. Somehow, I kept going back to square one, back to my first job.
A small compliment, small moment, for that's why we play sub.
For the last 2 years, YouTube hasn't brought me any income.
I laugh.
I'm not sure where this journey will go, but maybe one day I'll look back at this video and see how much my life has changed.
How perfect, so nice.
Now I'm going out to buy some bread. Come with me. Six years ago, this used to be a very quiet street. But because it's close to the city's main market, more and more vendors gradually started selling on the sidewalks. Eventually, it turned into a temporary street market. There isn't much traffic. People don't seem to be in such a hurry. Ha Giang has its own rhythm. It's quieter than Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City. I stopped by a bread store. This bread store is quite popular around here.
Anh ơi cho em một cái bánh mì. Vâng.
They only sell one kind of bread. The bread is always fresh and served hot. A loaf like this costs only about 10,000 Vietnam dong, or around 50 cents. This is my late breakfast. Most mornings I eat alone. Sometimes I enjoy breakfast with my daughter. But it's summer vacation right now, so I let her sleep in a little. I don't wake her up early like I do during the school year. This is my mother's house. Almost every afternoon, I go to my mother's house for lunch. We don't live together anymore, but sharing one meal has become part of our routine. And this is my mom. She's 56 years old.
Mày nấu cơm không nhỉ? Bây giờ nhặt rau à?
After I got married and moved out, my mom stayed here with my younger brother. Today we're having two different kinds of vegetables. Leafy greens are an essential part of a Vietnamese meal. This is gac vine shoots. They're the young tips of the gac plant. They're quite inexpensive. All of this costs only about 20,000 Vietnam dong, or around 80 cents. They have a fragrant, slightly nutty flavor and are usually stir-fried with garlic. Living in Ha Giang, we are lucky to have many kinds of wild mountain vegetables. Besides tasting good, people have believed for generations that they're good for our health. One thing I like about living close to my mom is that I can help her with little things whenever I stop by. Just small jobs that only take a few minutes. My younger brother is still in school. Since it's summer break, he's been spending some of his time working as a delivery driver. It's not something he'll do forever, just a way to earn a little extra money while he's off from classes.
Sao? Rơi á? Hỏng à? Hỏng không?
My mother owns a small breakfast shop. She's been running it for many years. She opens early every morning, long before most people start their day. I don't come here to help every day, but whenever I have time, I like doing the small things that make her work a little easier. This is my mom's shop.
Cái này phủ đi xong rồi gập lại.
This pot is what she uses to make steamed rice sheets. Everything is still made by hand. I like it when the whole family works together. Maybe this is just another way families take care of each other.
Thì mình cất bàn đi.
My mom has always been the one who cooks for our family. I don't think she ever learned from a recipe book. Most of what she knows came from cooking the same meals over and over again for years. This kitchen has been here for as long as I can remember. My dad built it when this house was first built, more than 20 years ago. Not much has changed since then. It just looks older. My mom doesn't spend a lot of money on our daily meals. For our family, lunch usually costs around 150,000 Vietnam dong, or about $6. That's enough food for everyone to eat together. I think many families in Vietnam still cook this way. Simple dishes, seasonal vegetables, a little meat or fish, and rice.
Em quên á, lúc chị về một lúc em mới nhớ ra.
My mom usually cooks with pork lard instead of cooking oil, partly because it costs less, but she also says it gives the food more flavor. Onions and garlic are two ingredients you always find in her kitchen. Summer in Ha Giang is really hot, but luckily we have an air conditioner at home. I designed my house to keep the cool air inside as much as possible. I sealed all the gaps with plastic sheeting, but after all these years, it started to wear out. I've been thinking about replacing it. It's been almost 9 years since I put it up, and it's getting old. It doesn't work as well as it used to. The air conditioner isn't working very well today. Maybe it's just getting old. Watching my mom try to fix it reminded me of something I hadn't thought about in years. When I was a kid, we didn't have an air conditioner at all. I remember sitting in front of an electric fan and thinking that one day, when I grew up and earned my own money, I would buy 3 air conditioners for our house. This is my daughter, and I'm waking her up from her afternoon nap. Sometimes I forget that my daughter and I are both learning at the same time. She's learning how to read, write, and understand the world around her, and I'm still learning how to be her mom. Not every afternoon goes the way I imagine. Some days she finishes her homework without any problems. Other days she's tired, distracted, or simply doesn't feel like doing it. To be honest, I'm not always patient either. There are moments when I have to remind myself that she's still a child. I only started running recently. At first, it was just a way to exercise. I never expected it to become one of the quietest parts of my day. Everything feels a little more peaceful as the sun begins to set. Ha Giang is a small city, and life here moves at a different pace. The streets are usually calm, especially compared to places like Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City. When life feels busy, my thoughts usually keep racing from one thing to the next. But after running for a while, they become much quieter. People are here to play in the waterfall. Around Ha Giang, there are many small waterfalls and natural streams that come down from the mountains. After a good rain, the water feels fresh and cold, even on the hottest days. The water stays clear and surprisingly cold, even in the middle of summer. I think that's one of the reasons children love coming here. After splashing some water on my face, I already feel a little cooler. Now I'll keep running. This little sugarcane juice stand always catches my eye when I pass by. I'm really thirsty right now, and one glass won't hurt.
Chị ơi, cho em một cốc nước mía. Uống ở đây.
Văn chuẩn bị là được 19 trả bà. Thế còn 8 thì nó thích ngoại ngữ à, cái xe của nó thì nó thích ngoại ngữ cái này.
Roadside drink stalls are everywhere in Vietnam. They're not really places people plan to visit. Most of the time, people just stop because they're tired, it's too hot outside, or they have a little time before heading somewhere else. I guess every country has drinks that naturally fit its climate. Hot coffee or tea is perfect in colder places. But here, especially in the summer, we usually just want something cold. That's probably why sugarcane juice is such a popular choice. I prefer these little roadside stalls to fancy cafes. They feel more familiar and more comfortable. Sitting in this small shelter, I can feel the breeze. I can hear people talking somewhere nearby. Being surrounded by mountains and trees has always felt normal to me. That's just what life has always been like here in Ha Giang. On my way home, the sky turns dark gray. It looks like we're about to get a heavy rain. Sudden summer rainstorms are a pretty common sight here. Today I reached my exercise goal. I like the feeling of working up a sweat. Tonight I'll be cooking dinner at home. I'm making fried stream fish with boiled sweet potato leaves. Once dinner is ready, I'll go pick up my daughter so we can come home and eat together. After that comes my favorite part of the day, spending time with my daughter. Maybe we'll watch one of her favorite movies. It's usually a cartoon, or maybe we'll have a little story time together. That's pretty much how my day went. Just another ordinary day here in Ha Giang. Sometimes I wonder if days like this are interesting to people who live far away. That's one of the reasons I started making these videos. Thank you for spending part of your day with me. If you're curious about what everyday life is like in this small city in northern Vietnam, I'd love to have you back. If you'd like to support my channel, subscribing is one of the biggest ways you can help. And if you'd like to support me a little more, there's also a support link in the description below. It really helps me continue making these videos. Thank you again for being here. I'll see you in the next video.